Well, as I mentioned this morning, Chris is going to come and speak for us tonight. Just want to say how much I appreciate all that Chris does for us around here. Filling in where Matt left off, he has stepped up and taken several things on and is doing a good job at it, and I truly appreciate it. It's not easy to do those things and work a full-time job as well and raise a family, and I want him to know I don't take it lightly. I appreciate it, and I appreciate his spirit, his just servant's heart. A year ago, he came to me and said, I just want to serve in any way I can. And he said that he believes church members should do all they can to take the load off the pastor and give him more time to study and read the Word of God and spend time in prayer. And I believe that's his heart, and I appreciate that very much. And we've been doing some classes together and doing some studying, and I asked him to come and preach for me this evening, and he didn't hesitate. Said that he would be glad to, and so give him your attention tonight. I know the Lord's given him something for us, and so go ahead, Chris, and give us what the Lord has given you.
Did I turn on right? I'm good now? No? I have a word light.
You need a green light. You need a green light. Just like a stoplight.
He has trouble driving.
Yeah, just keeps on flashing red.
All that matters is good.
Yeah, I'm just staying right here anyway, so. As I want to announce, say this publicly, I want to thank Pastor for giving up his Friday afternoons, teach me my passion is not only to help, assist pastors, but assist other churches and social media and whatever. And as Pastor and I we were discussing, the best way to do that is to teach me to learn how to preach. And so on Fridays when he's not around, when he is around, we meet in his office for about 2 hours, 1 hour talking about the world's problems, and now we're in the study. I told Brother Eric I want to keep him busy. I actually put everything in slides, so make him pay attention. If you would, turn your Bibles to the book of Nehemiah chapter 1. I had labeled this message a fire of revival. And chapter 1 says, and the words of Nehemiah came to Hezekiah, and it came to pass in the month of Chislev in the 20th year that I was in Shushan the palace, and that Hananiah, one of my brethren, came, and he and certain men of Judah, and I asked him concerning the Jews that had escaped, and which was left of the captivity, and concerning Jerusalem. And they said unto me, the remnant of that which is left in captivity there in the province are in great affliction and reproach. The walls of Jerusalem is also broken down, and the gates thereof are burnt with fire. And it came to pass, when I heard these things, these words, that I sat down and wept and mourned certain days and fasted and prayed before the God of heaven. Let's pray. Dear Holy and Heavenly Father, dear Lord God, I want to thank you for this opportunity to preach, dear Lord God. I do not take this privilege lightly, dear Lord God. And I pray, dear Lord God, that as I deliver this message, dear Lord God, may you remove me of myself, dear Lord God. Forgive me of all my sins. Hide me behind the cross. In your name we pray. Amen. The question of Nehemiah can be found in chapter 1, verse 2. How is Jerusalem? How are the walls? And I have to ask, how is America? A few days ago I was reading on Facebook, and there was this one lady who told the doctors, I want my baby to remain genderless. And it used to be when we would see even something like that, great men of God would pray and weep. And how does the world view Christianity at large? You look at any movie, any TV show. The Christian is nothing but a babbler, one of those ones who, do crazy off the wall things. And the answer, we cannot fool ourselves that we're okay. We cannot say that, hey, Christian people are only up and up. Brother Lee was mentioning Wednesday night that there's a Baptist church here in town that's okay with a bar next door neighbors. It used to be when there was a good Baptist church in a town, there were no bars. Sunday morning and Sunday night, the shops were closed because people knew, hey, even though I may not be a Christian, I still, hold a reverence to those things. I find his response interesting. First, he wept. He cried over the condition of God's people. Like I was saying, you look at America, you look at Christianity, you look at local New Testament churches. We are not doing anything for God. We are just pretty much sitting on our thumbs waiting till his coming. Christ said, occupy. That means be in it. Be not of the world, but be in the world. Like I said, he wept. He cried for the condition. He knew, obviously he didn't see the old Jerusalem. I believe he was told by men of old, this was after Daniel's time and the 3 Hebrew children. But I'm just taking a wild swing at it. I'm sure Daniel told, hey, the great city, Solomon's city in his finest, you should have been there. He asked, hey, how's the city? How's the walls? And I goes, there is no walls. People just, a fox and just go through and do what it wants, and there's nothing making it happen. He lamented. Now this is a different, he mourned. He lamented over this shattered city. This is a city where God dwelt in the temple. And also he fasted. This took me a little research, but for 4 months, on and off, I believe, he fasted. We say we're spiritual if we fast 12 hours. Hey, I fasted 12 hours. And everybody goes, whoa. Or, I fasted for 2 whole days. Look at me. And everybody goes. But he fasted on and off for 4 months. Now, needless to say, he didn't fast the whole 4 months. For he was a cupbearer. His job was to eat. And he also prayed. He asked for forgiveness for the nation of Israel and for himself in verses 5 through 11. And he said, I beseech thee, O Lord God of heaven, the great and terrible God that keepeth covenant and merciful that love him and observe his commandments. Let thine ear now be attentive, and thine eyes open, that thou mayest hear the prayer of thy servant, which I pray before thee now, the day of night, for the children of Israel, thy servants, and confess the sins of the children of Israel, which I have sinned against thee. Both I and my father's house have sinned. We have dealt very corruptly against thee, and have not kept thy commandments, no statutes, no judgments which thou commandest thy servant Moses. Remember, I beseech thee, the word of that thou commandest thy servant Moses, saying, If ye transgress, I will scatter you abroad among the nations. But if ye turn unto me and keep my commandments, and do them, that though thou wilt you cast out among the uttermost parts of the heavens, yet will I gather them from hence, and will bring them unto the place that I have chosen to set my name there. Now these are thy servants and thy people, whom thou hast redeemed by thy great power and by thy strong hand. O Lord, I beseech thee, let now thine ear be attentive to the prayer of thy servant, and to the prayer of thy servants, who desire to fear thy name and prosper, I pray thee. Thy servant this day, and grant him mercy in the sight of the man, for I was the king's cupbearer. One thing he did, he took ownership of the nations of Israel's sin. And we as Americans should take responsibility for America's sin. When has the last time you earnestly prayed for the president, the city council members, representatives, both state and federal? When is the last time we've prayed for not the current, but the future presidents? You know, this election, this was one of those ones choosing the lesser of both evils. Not the lesser of two evils, it was just both evil. And we wonder why we got ourselves in this mess. It's because we hadn't prayed for the next coming election. If we as a people earnestly pray, saying, God, I know we haven't been a good people, but I ask for your mercy for the next president, for the next congressperson, for the next representative, for the next city council member. He remembered both the promises and the curses given by God through Moses. A lot of times when we say, hey, we as a people would not do anything wrong, all it takes is a quick look to see where we turn wrong. He remembered 2 Chronicles 7:14, one of my favorite verses. If my people, which are called by my name, shall humble themselves and pray, and seek my face, and turn from their wicked ways, then I will hear them from heaven, and will forgive of sin, and will hear the land. It takes humbleness. The good old humble pie. A lot of times we don't like to humble ourselves because we are the master of our own ship. We say yes, God is king, but I'm going to do my own thing. I'm going to vote not according to what the scriptures say, what saith the Lord, but I'm going to vote for my pocketbook. I'm going to vote because I have a special interest here. I have a special interest there. One thing I like personally, I love guns. I believe any Baptist man should love a gun. That was a weak amen. So, yes, I vote according to me liking guns. But that's completely wrong. I should seek God's face. Lord, what do you say? What is your position? And we should claim, if we want America, want Christianity as a whole, if we want our local New Testament churches to be what they once were. You know, we always talk about the great preachers of old, Jack Hyles, John R. Rice, Spurgeon, you know, you name them. You know, you're talking about, those are good old days. Well, according to this verse in 2 Chronicles, we can have those days, but it takes some humble pie. It takes us to pray and ask for forgiveness. Then, like I said, I named this the Sparkle Revival. This was the timber. When you get a timber box, that's when you start the fire. The second is we get the spark. Some of the lost will see the passion. And in the verses in chapter 2, verses 1 and 2, and it came to pass in the month of Nisan, in the second year of Alexander the king, that wine was brought before him, and I took up the wine and gave it unto the king. Now I had not been beforehand time sad in his presence. Therefore the king said unto me, Why is thou countenance sad, seeing thou art not sick? This is nothing else but sorrow of the heart. Then I was sore afraid. He had not mentioned this to the king, but he was so grieved in his heart that the king saw it. When I was doing construction, there was one man who was a painter. I was an electrician. He goes, "You're a Christian, aren't you?" Now, I hadn't met this man. He goes, "Well, how do you know?" "Yes, how do you know?" He goes, "Well, I see you around this older man, and you don't laugh at those jokes. You don't tell those jokes. You don't use, their language. I can tell there's something different." We should be, as a people, as a Christian, should be so distinguished that somebody off the street can say, he must be a Christian, she must be a Christian, that young boy must be a Christian. And I want to notice he saw his prayer, and we saw in verse 1, in chapter 1, he sought that prayer through his boldness. In verses 7 and 8 of chapter 2, he goes, "Moreover I said unto the king, if it please the king, let letters be given unto me to the governors beyond the river, that they may convey me till I come to Judah. And a letter to Asaph, the keeper of the king's forest, that he may give timber, and to make beams for the gates of the palace which attains to the house, and for the walls of the city, and for the house that I should enter into. And the king granted me according to the good hand of my God upon me." It wasn't enough that Nehemiah was going to go. He goes, "I know what the Lord wants me to do. I know he wants me to fix the wall. I'm going to need stuff." The king could say, "Well, now, it's good enough I'm sending you over there." But Nehemiah goes, "Hey, if my guy is in it, he owns this timber. He owns these people. I can give, as long as I ask whether he can say no. I know God, if I know God's behind it, he will grant me this wish." And through this burden that he had, he showed in Proverbs, even though this task seemed unsurmountable, through multitude of counselors in Proverbs 15:22, purpose is established. When he went when Nehemiah went to Judah, he took men. Didn't tell them what the goal was, didn't tell them why he was there. I have a sneaky suspicion that he picked men who knew how to build a wall. Whether it was to saw logs or to hew stone, when they got to Jerusalem, they rode around, and I can only imagine them looking around, hey, you're Bob the Builder. You're Larry the hewing stone hewer. But I don't think they put two and two together until Nehemiah told him, hey, reason why I had you walk through this was look at the walls. We're a reproach to the people. This is one thing I really like about missionary videos when missionaries come through. It shows us their burden. Even though I may not see that missionary again this side of heaven, it shows me, hey, they have a burden. I can place myself into that video and see their burden. And lastly, I want to talk about the heat of revival. There are a few problems with revival once it gets started. Up to this point, Nehemiah had a burden. He had his personal revival. He saw a goal. He wanted it. But shortly there comes attacks. Attacks from within. Chapter 3, verses 5 says, and next unto them the Tekoites prepared, but their nobles put not the necks to the work of their Lord. This is complete laziness. Some Christians, they're lazy. Some will say, well, I have no time. I have no time to pray. I have no time to read my Bible. I'm barely, if I could add 24 hours more to a day, I would, but I just don't have the time. As Pastor mentioned, I work 45 hours every week, Monday through Friday. And, at night, during the school time, it's 3 to 1. But yet, I still find time to pray, study. Some will say, well, I haven't been called to a ministry. I haven't been called to a ministry, so I'm not going to work. Until I find a ministry, I'm going to take my 3x5 space on the pew and suck oxygen. Paul, we see, a lot of apostles, they was working, then the Lord called them. Matthew was a tax collector. He was working. Peter was working. He was fishing. John was sitting on a lonely island of Patmos when God reached out to him for revelation. If you say you don't not called to a ministry, my suggestion is just to do something. Go to pastor. Hey, I'm not doing anything. Is there any opening for ministry? A lot of the ministries I found out that I've been in, I haven't been quote unquote called for. I just kind of worked my way into it. Where today I don't see myself doing other than that ministry. Just like Facebook, my previous church, the pastor there was bivocational. He was pastoring, working an 80-hour-a-week job, and Facebook and website. And I told him, I go, hey, give me some of that. I may not be called to do this now, but I'll do it until you find somebody better. And I was doing that there for 6 years afterwards. I found my quote-unquote calling for that ministry because of that. Others would say, well, I may be called to that ministry, but I'm not qualified. You know, the quote is, God doesn't call the qualified, God qualifies the called. Pastor wasn't qualified to be a pastor. He had no college education, but God called him to be a pastor. Then he qualified him. Self-limitation. In chapter 3:28, it says, "From above the horse gate have repelled the priests, everyone over against his house." This can also be laziness, but this is just to make me look good. You know, some people are in it just to make me look good. At the men's events, what was it? In it to win it, right, Pastor? It was in it to win it. They were just in it to look good. Christ wasn't in it just to make himself look good with the Father. He paid it all. Why can't we give all? You know, with tithing, you know, some people say, well, I'm only give 10%. Well, Christ gave 100%. You know, one pastor says, I'm not a 10%er, I'm a 100%er. This is all his, he owns it out anyway. So whatever I can give to him, back to him, is his anyway. And not only are they attacked from within, they're attacked from without. Chapter 4, verses 1 through 3 says, "But when it came to pass, when Sanballat heard that they built the wall, he was wroth, and took great indignation, and mocked the Jews. And he spake before his brethren and the army of Samaria, and said, What are these feeble Jews? Will they fortify themselves? Will they sacrifice? Will they make an end of a day? Will they revive the stones out of which heaps of the rubbish which are burned?" They just plain out mocking them. When we're doing right, the world will mock us. When they see people getting saved, turning their lives around, bars emptying out, they will mock us. And not only will they be mocking from without, but there'll be persecution. Christ said in John 15:19, "If ye were of the world would love its own. But because ye are not of the world, but I have chosen you out of the world, therefore the world hateth you." This goes the same way with mocking. If we are true to him, we're not in 1 John, we're not part of the darkness, we're part of the light, we will be persecuted. You know, we kind of see that now in America, where biblical Christianity is being ridiculed, it's being mocked, and another attack from without is the compromise in chapter 6, verses 2 through 4. "Then Sanballat and Geshem said unto me, Come, let us meet together in one of the villages in the plains of Ono. But they thought to do me mischief. And I sent messengers unto them, saying, I am doing a great work, so that I cannot come down. Why should the work cease, lest I leave it and come down to you?" If you have a price to compromise, Satan will pay for it. Pay it. You know, if I'm funny, you know, hey, go to one of the villages in the village of Ono. Doesn't say which one, just one of them. As long as you're up on that wall, doing what the Lord wants you to do, Satan will come and try to get you down. I like what Nehemiah said. I cannot come down, for I'm doing a great work. He didn't say, I'm a great worker. He said, no, I'm doing a great work. You know, that's one thing about serving the Lord. I'm not a great worker, but I'm doing a great work. And that's one thing with Matt. You can ask him, are you a good worker? I bet you he'll say, no, but I'm doing a great work. You know, don't give any place for the devil. Don't even make them say that you're not coming. Hey, let's do this. Sorry, I'm busy. And lastly, with the fires of revival, there is contagion. In chapter 4, verse 6, so build we the walls. So built we the wall, and all the wall was joined together unto the half thereof. For the people had a mind to work. True revival, people will have a mind. Not people would have minds to work. People would have a mind. You know, in the early church, they were all with one accord. There was a lot of times in my first church, it was infighting. Here I don't see it, because we're all one accord. We're all following in the same direction, and I'm thankful for that. So, in conclusion, in order to have a revival, we must have the material, the timber. To start the fire, we need a spark. And in the heat of revival, there will be attacks and chances to compromise. But if you continue, there will be contagion, the fire will spread. And I believe if we were to apply this to our lives today, in 50 years, there would be no history that could be written honestly about where stuff falls that wouldn't mention the impact Victory Baptist would have on this town. That's only if we humble ourselves and pray and seek His face. Let's pray. Dear Holy and Heavenly Father, Lord God, once again I'm grateful for your many blessings. I'm grateful for the opportunity to preach you, Lord God. I pray, dear Lord, that you may touch the heart and mind of the people. In your name we pray. Pastor.
So I'll stand with our heads bowed and eyes closed. We'll have a short time of devotion or invitation. The revival does have to start in each heart. It will start with us individually seeing the need, having our hearts broken and humbling ourselves before God and saying, Lord, I'm here. You do what you want with me. Total submission to Him. We will see revival when each soul has that desire. That is their true desire, their true motivation every day is to please the Lord, to be submitted to Him, to see the difference in our country and in our little church right here, that each heart will be on fire. One of playing Hallelujah, thine the glory, hallelujah, amen. We need to be given Him the glory and let Him revive us. I appreciate that tonight, Chris. I believe it's very necessary that we each have the heart of Nehemiah. Appreciate it. Hope we all will apply the scripture to our hearts tonight.